A Silent Love by Sir Edward Dyer, 1543 to 1607. The lowest trees have tops, the ant her gall, the fly her spleen, the little spark his heat. And slender hairs cast shadows, though but small, and bees have stings, although they be not great. Seas have their source, and so have shallow springs. And love is love, in beggars and in kings. Where waters smoothest run, there deepest are the fords. The dial stirs, yet none perceives it move. The firmest faith is found in fewest words. The turtles do not sing, and yet they love. True hearts have ears and eyes, no tongues to speak. They hear and see and sigh, and then they break. Okay, so this is a poem by Sir Edward Dyer. Sir Edward Dyer came from Somerset. He was born into a wealthy family. He went to Oxford and studied either at Balliol or at Pembroke. He then became a member of the court of Queen Elizabeth the First, and he was employed on various missions by her to do various different things. He was then knighted, made Sir Edward Dyer, and made Chancellor of the Order of the Garter. So he was a poet, a politician, a member of high society. A Silent Love is the name of this poem. What's this poem about? Okay, I think this poem is about love. It says that it doesn't matter who feels love. Love is love. It doesn't matter if it's somebody who's big and important or small and insignificant. And the poem goes saying that everything has its important points, even if it's not something vast and vastly important, but all things can love, and all things feel love, and it doesn't matter who or what it is. So the lowest trees have tops, so even the smallest tree has a top. Yeah, it might not be way up in the sky, but it does have a top. The ant her gall. I think here the gall is probably talking about the sting. So an ant can sting. The fly her spleen. The little spark his heat. So each of these things, the ant has its own characteristic. The fly has its spleen. Spleen is normally anger. Yeah, and the little spark his heat. So yeah, even a tiny little spark, it has its own heat. And slender hairs cast shadows, though but small. So just a little hair, yes, it does make a shadow. It's not a huge, great shadow that everyone can see, but it's still a shadow. And bees have stings, although they be not great. So despite the fact that a bee is a tiny little animal, it still has a sting, and it must not be ignored. Seas have their source, and so have shallow springs. So the water in the sea comes from the rivers. It has a source, but also a little spring. It has its own source of water. Yeah, we are all important, and love is love, in beggars and in kings, and therefore a beggar or a king, anybody can feel love, and the love that each person feels is important to that person. It's important to them, and it doesn't matter if it's somebody great and important or somebody lowly and insignificant. So we need to understand that everybody's emotion, everybody's feeling of love is equally valid. We all have our place. Where water's smoothest run, their deepest are the fords. So this is the phrase "still waters run deep." Is when water, the surface of a piece of water is normally very still. Normally it's very, very deep water. But we normally use this to say that somebody who doesn't say much, who's is quiet, who doesn't say much, but they think a lot and they think very deeply about things. The dial stirs, yet none perceive it move. The dial here is the sundial. So we can see that there has been movement in the sundial. The time has changed, but you can't actually see the shadow of the sundial moving. So things change, things move on, but we can't see the change from second to second. The firmest faith is found in fewest words. So people who believe most strongly, who have the strongest faith, they don't need to say anything about it because they believe. The turtles do not sing, and yet they love. So turtles don't sing, so you don't need to sing to be able to love. Yeah, love is everybody and everything is capable of love. True hearts have ears and eyes, no tongues to speak. So this is like this firmest faith is found in fewest words, or still waters run deep. Yeah, a true heart, it has ears and eyes, it can see, but it doesn't need to speak about it because it feels it. They hear and see and sigh, and then they break. So a true heart sees the world, and it hears the world, and it hears its love, and then maybe it's sad about something. And and anybody's heart can break if they are not treated in the right way. And I think here this last line is actually talking about how he's feeling, and I think there's a lady that he loves, and even though he's insignificant in her eyes and she doesn't see him, he still loves her, and he's heartbroken that she doesn't love him back. And this is a very, very typical meme from Elizabethan poetry. So enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. A Silent Love by Sir Edward Dyer.